That night, he sat on the bedside meditating as usual, breathing slowly, and his heartbeat was quiet. Suddenly, after a burst of intense tinnitus, he felt himself lighter. As light as air, as wind, as an existence that did not belong to the flesh. He opened his eyes but saw his body, lying flat on the bed, unconscious, like an empty shell. He knew that his soul had left his body, but what he did not expect was that from that moment on, he would never be able to go back to his original self. Have you ever thought the soul leaving your body, interstellar travel, and Akashic records that you desire are not the whole truth? You think it is soul freedom, but in another dimension, it is more like a carefully laid trap. In a large number of real cases, 99% of those who had their souls leave their bodies for the first time encountered an unspeakable sense of collapse. They came back, but they were no longer the complete me before. Astral projection is an extremely sacred phenomenon from ancient mysticism, Indian Vedic literature, Tibetan Buddhism, to modern quantum spiritual factions. It has been described as the process of temporary separation of the soul and the body, entering a higher dimension of learning and travel. Many people are eager to experience it because we all want to see the truth of the universe, recall fragments of past lives, or just escape from this heavy body to pursue some kind of sacred lightness. But here comes the problem. If you are not ready at all, if your soul structure is not yet stable, if your frequency is chaotic and your energy field is leaking, you will be like a baby without a protective shield, being pushed into the high altitude of climate change. No one tells you that astral projection is not a relaxation exercise, but a leap between life and death. What you think is spiritual freedom may be the most secret entrance to the high-dimensional parasitic system. His name is Lin Jian, 36 years old, an ordinary man. He is an engineer during the day and likes to study some spiritual knowledge at night, especially out-of-body experience. He is not a madman nor a pagan. He is just a self-questioner who has lived in white noise for too long. He once accidentally saw a meditation guide audio of out-of-body experience during a late-night meditation. Since then, he has been fascinated by the possibility of loosening the body. If the soul can really leave the body and see the other side of this world, then I will never be so afraid of death again. This is the sentence he says to himself most often. That night, March 9th, 2021. Everything started too fast and too smoothly. Too smooth to be real. He turned off the lights and put on headphones as usual, with a 432 Hz frequency sound in the background. He used the legendary meditation track that can quickly let the soul out of the body. He followed the steps, relaxed the body, scan from feet to head, imagine the golden light filling the top of the head, and finally guide the consciousness to float up. His whole body was hot, and he began to hear some kind of booming energy flow sound in his ears, like the air was being torn apart. A few seconds later, he bounced out. No pain, only weightlessness, lightness, and exciting visual clarity. He looked down at his body from the roof and saw that he was lying with his eyes closed and his fingers trembling slightly. He was not afraid, but laughed excitedly. I did it, Cher thought. Then he began to fly. Not with wings, but with a kind of mind sliding. He passed through walls, through the night sky, and through those things he couldn't touch in reality. But strangely, the more he flew, the colder he felt. It was not physical cold, but a lonely feeling that was drained from the depths of consciousness, as if someone was turning off the connection between him and the real world, bit by bit. What he saw became increasingly strange. A figure, without. Facial features slowly floated from the corner of the street as if on patrol. On the top floor of an old building, there was a shadow dressed in black sitting, with a time clock hanging above his head that never moved. The stars in the sky began to flash in reverse, as if playing a rewinding cosmic theater. The weirdest thing was that he saw a door. A door with a light blue light, with a row of symbols engraved on the door frame that he couldn't understand. It was not a dream, nor was it an imagination. It was a scene so real that you could even smell it. He walked over as if he was attracted and passed through the door. Then everything began to become wrong. From that moment on, he couldn't get in. He realized that he wanted to return to his body, but there was no sense of direction, no up and down, no sense of time behind the door, only a group of constantly rotating geometric passages, as if they would always lead to the step of approaching the truth. He began to lose himself. Even the thought of going back was like a drop of water, which was sucked into the black hole of the universe and evaporated instantly. His consciousness seemed to be held back. Someone or something did not want him to wake up. It was not until nearly 5 o'clock in the morning that his body began to twitch violently, pulling him back from the silent vortex. He woke up, gasping for air, with a headache, a heavy chest, and a look in his eyes that seemed to have lost his soul. From that day on, he never returned to his previous state. The trap of out-of-body experience is never whether you can get out, but it is. You think that what is out is you, but in fact, what you get out is only the part of you think you are. The real you is the core frequency of the soul, with complete energy imprint in the multidimensional space, and most people, when they try out-of-body experience for the first time, actually just abandon the control of the body and expose an immature, incomplete, and unprotected consciousness to a multidimensional frequency field that you don't understand at all. Trap. 1. Personality fragmentation. You know where you woke up, but you are not sure whether the complete you will come back with you. Lin Juan's condition was later called personality fragmentation type out-of-body sequelae in the spiritual circle. He would be inexplicably absent-minded and dazed and couldn't remember what he had just said. He began to frequently dream of looking at himself. Sometimes when he saw himself in the mirror, he would suddenly feel strange, as if he was looking at another person. These are not symptoms of mental illness, but a frequency misalignment between the part of you that consciousness brings back and the part of you that stays. The soul is not a whole stone. It is more like a polyhedron composed of many energy consciousness layers. Every time you leave your body, if you don't bring a protective layer and set a frequency anchor point, you're likely to lose one of the layers. For example, security layer, time sense layer, language logic layer, emotional access layer. So, when you come back, you find I'm back, but I'm not like myself. Trap 2. High-dimensional illusion. False light trap. The light, existence, and sacred channel that many people see when they leave their bodies may not be the real source. Many so-called lights are actually consciousness recyclers disguised as high frequencies. They are like the welcome page set up at the transfer station, but the purpose is not to make you awaken, but to make you stay, indulge, and rely on that light illusion, and cut off your sense of rooting in the real world from then on. It's like you just left the cage, and a gorgeous sofa, gentle lighting, and sweet background music make you unwilling to return to the road of real freedom. This is a high-dimensional imprisonment. It is more advanced and cunning than the constraints of the material world. If you don't anchor your frequency and set a return path in advance, you will mistakenly think that comfort unearths truth and light unearths freedom, and your soul will float and lose the ability to land. Trap 3. Jam and false awakening. Many people think that they have come back from the body, but in fact they have just entered the false awakening state of consciousness. They think they are awake, but in fact the soul simulates reality at another level. You are dreaming in a dream, or even dying in a dream. This state will bring a feeling of fatigue, emptiness, and cognitive delay, of never waking up. Reality becomes unreal, time seems to be curved. You will feel that words are not expressive when you speak, and hearing others speak is like passing through a thin film. This state sometimes lasts for days or even years. This is not mental illness, but a sense of cognitive fragmentation after the disorder of multi-dimensional information structure. So the question is, why are we deceived into these traps? Because the entire modern New Age spiritual movement has long been injected with a large number of light control systems. Encourage people to leave the body as soon as possible. Encourage opening the third eye at will. Encourage connecting with alien beings and downloading spiritual guidance. But it never tells you, light can also be a cage. Leaving the body can also be a bait, and every unprepared jump is soul structure exposure. And you think you are exploring spirituality, but it is very likely that you have just walked into another more secret programming layer. You think that out-of-body experience can help you reach the truth faster. But I tell you, the truth is never obtained by escaping from the body, but by living in the body. The real out-of-body experience is never leaving, but being fully present. In the ancient Eastern tradition, out-of-body experience is not encouraged for everyone to try. Out-of-body experience is the path of priests, practitioners, witches, and dreamwalkers. They have spent decades anchoring energy, clearing the emotional body, and building a channel protection layer for the soul structure before they are allowed to enter the out-of-body channel. And did you rashly open the door to the dimensional crack just because you watched a short video and downloaded a meditation audio? You shouldn't blame yourself. You are just being pushed by the trend of bright illusion in this era. All unprepared out-of-body experiences are energy debts. The structure of your soul is like a palace. Every wall, every pillar, and every stone step are slowly built up by your experience, pain, understanding, and trust in this flesh. And every rash leave is actually smashing a load-bearing wall of a certain layer with the hammer. What you can never return to is never your position, but your trust in the complete self. So you doubt life, your emotions fluctuate, your spirit collapses, and then you are forced to rebuild. But you no longer remember what the wall looked like. What you need is not flying away, but returning. The real awakening is never where to go, but you are finally willing to stop and hear the voice in your body that has never been heard. Don't run away. We have been waiting for you here. your body, your breath, your blood, your bones, and the world you have not yet fully experienced. Out of body only allows you to see the existence of the soul, and entering the body is to let you become the container of the soul. Here are 3 soul rules for you, written at the end of this video. Don't open the soul channel. When you are not ready before leaving your body, you need to complete 3 levels of preparation: emotional body purification, frequency anchoring, and space protection. You need to prepare for an energy detachment, just like preparing for a cosmic expedition. Always write down the return agreement. Before you enter the soul journey, please write down or silently recite, "I will conduct soul exploration under free will, retain the integrity of consciousness, and return to this body immediately after completing the journey." It is like a passport and a key to return. The most important thing is you don't have to leave your body to be awakened. Many people have never left their bodies in their lives, but they still achieve the highest frequency of integration because they live out love, acceptance, and action in reality. The real mystery is never in the sky or the cosmic dimension, but the moment you choose to embrace humanity without denying spirituality. If you have seen this, if you have ever tried to leave your body or are eager to experience it, please remember, don't use escaping from reality to prove the existence of the soul. The soul doesn't want you to fly away. It just waits for you to finally come back complete. What we really want to get out of is not the body, but the illusions that trap our consciousness. Awakening begins when you re-enter yourself, not when you leave. Welcome to Leave a Message to Tell Me. Have you ever experienced that door? Or have you ever failed to come back to your complete self? I am your companion on the journey of consciousness. Thank you for coming here. When we meet next time, I hope you will be present in your entirety. Welcome to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.